going to have to apologize in advance on this one because, yeah. This is Rebecca from Rebecca's World, and she has blocked me. I mean, it was inevitable, right? But, I don't think I've been this heated over a comment in a really, really long time. And I'm about to show you what it was about and why. But this kind of thing is just, it's so infuriating. It's so infuriating for all of the ex-vegans who are told this by that they did it wrong. That is the typical, most, lame excuse. That way these people can cling to their ideology. And, if they acknowledge that these people didn't do it wrong, that in fact it's just because this diet is lacking and inadequate, if they acknowledge that, then, well, they have to acknowledge that, that their diet is not that adequate. It's not, even when very, very well designed, it doesn't really measure up, you know what I mean? So this comment began by T. Tribby. She was talking about how these vegan yogurts and cheeses and things like that, they shouldn't be able to call themselves cheese and cream and these things, because parents are going to end up thinking that they measure up to actual dairy products, which have a lot more protein, things like that. And so that's what she was saying. I fed my son coconut, almond, rice milks for about a year or so, with his health continuously declining, as well as focusing on all the greens and smoothies and little, if any, animal foods. A lot of young parents who aren't educated in nutrition are doing just what they assume is best. And for me at the time, dairy, excess sugar, and even gluten should be avoided, with the focus on plants. Of course, nobody who told me to eliminate dairy mentioned raw milk. Nobody. So when I finally did start giving him raw milk, he was out of diapers in weeks and finally started speaking and developing cognitively at a rapid pace. Hence, the birth of my channel. Screw veganism. Well, I didn't say that. This will kill and destroy our children, but call the fake shit what you want, because parents have to wise up. That I can agree with.
Hi for help. So you were too damn lazy to look at nutrition facts, labels, or do any research? You're incompetent. Malnourished your child. That's on you, not veganism.
I'm not really good at accents or impressions. I'm really horrible, actually. So, yeah, basically, she just did. I finally got the you didn't do it right. She did what every other vegan does when somebody's health declines on that diet. They just blame it on them. Like they weren't doing it right. And they have to do that in order to keep believing. So are you blaming every other malnourished vegan child on their parents' incompetence, even though they can prove they are feeding an adequate, quote-unquote, vegan-approved diet? Your ignorance is beyond logical discussion. Amazing. And then I went on to say some stuff I probably shouldn't have said, calling her a bitch. But in my defense, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Because, what I'm saying here is true. It's due to inadequate nutrients. The nutrients are not there. So it doesn't matter how well you plan this. It doesn't matter when somebody's health fails to just flippantly blame them as being, not caring, like they were just sitting around eating freaking cake all day. Like they didn't care, like they weren't reading labels and actively trying. That is why they are feeding their kids the way they are. They cut out dairy, they cut out all these things, and they're trying to give their kids the best options. And it fails. It fails because the nutrients, like I said, they're just not there, or they're not converting properly, or the bioavailability isn't there, or there are so many factors. It's just a lacking diet. Even if you could fix it up to where it could work for you, kinda, for a little while, it's still lacking. And this is proven. This is proven by the fact that I could add in a food, just one animal food, like raw milk, and it completely turned things around. That proves it. That proves how rich in nutrients animal foods are in comparison to plant foods, that you can just be given this huge variety and it's still not doing what one animal food could do. Do you see, like, wow, it's just baffling to me how they don't get this. And so this is why I stick up for the ex-vegans, because even though I was plant-based, I was never considered myself vegan, but by default of, my son's sensory issues and me trying to cut out dairy and all these other things, he ended up being basically vegetarian, veganish. So yeah, he ended up lacking and becoming deficient. And like I said, adding in just raw milk in weeks, he started talking again. He started not needing a diaper to go to the potty. He finally caught up with his peers. And so we figured this out and figured out that's what was going to heal him, because the whole, natural community, and they're full of vegans. That's where I came across so many. They're all obsessed with cleansing. A kid gets injured by a vaccine, and all of them in that community are telling you to cleanse, plant foods, because they're cleansing. And they don't understand you need fats to cleanse, even if cleansing is the problem, because that may not even be the problem. It could be, deficiencies or something. It could be both. But regardless, you need essential fatty acids. So that's how I ended up finding, everything I have out about veganism. I ended up doing loads of research because that was supposedly the best. And then I realized, nope, sure isn't. It's like opposite land. It is so sneaky, and so it's like pure darkness. It is so sneaky. It's because everybody thinks it's healthy. And you're just going to end up screwing yourself up massively if you try to be healthy in that sort of way. This is also proven by the fact that nutrients are what signal satiety. So when you're eating pounds and pounds of plants and you don't get that feeling until your stomach is about to burst and you just feel full, you don't actually feel satiated, that proves the diet's inadequate. It's also proven by breast milk. Just the composition of breast milk. The fact that you can't find any of these ingredients in plants, that proves it is inadequate. Or just the simple fact that it is so hard to get right, quote unquote. Or so easy to screw up. It's so easy to screw it up. But you know what? I feel like that should ring some alarm bells with these people. But instead, I think what it does, it makes them feel superior. Like it's so difficult to get this diet right, but I can do it. Because I have the willpower. I have the know-how. You have to be smart. You have to be, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is. I think these people cling so tightly to this because that's all they really have in their life that they could feel proud of. And so they feel like they're doing something really, they're saving these animals. They're saving the earth. They feel like they're doing something so amazing, and all they have to do is eat. That's literally it. It is the laziest form of activism. It is so lazy. Sitting on your computer, going and heating up some meals that you bought from the supermarket. And it's okay because that bean burger tastes kind of good. So you can deal, as long as you have the money to swap out, your meat for the fake meats. It's pretty easy, right? And all you have to do is believe in it, and there you go. You're like this superhero. Oh, this was my son when he was going through the deficiencies. And at this point, he had sort of gotten a little bit better. Like, he started making eye contact again. He started answering to his name. He started being more, like, self-aware and more there. Like, you felt like he, saw you and could be with you in conversation, even though he couldn't talk and all that stuff. But he was getting a little bit better. Like, a lot of his symptoms were improving. But he still wasn't completely better. And if you looked at him, you would think he was a typical healthy child, Nothing seems wrong. I mean, he looks happy, he looks healthy. This was our huge garden when I was very, very plant-based. All the beet smoothies, kaleberry smoothies, none of that helped him. But, yeah, back to what I was saying. If it takes so much hard work to plan and design and, work out your diet to where you need like a nutritionist, you need chronometer, you need a whole team of people helping you, then that proves that it's just not adequate. So yeah, the fact that it is so incredibly hard to get right, the fact that you can so easily not have to worry about this stuff. As long as you have animal foods, some of the quality animal foods in your diet, there's just not much thought you have to put into this. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. You don't have to have chronometer and all this other stuff, planning and counting and, measuring. You don't have to do that when you're feeding your kids eggs and milk. So that should tell you how nutrient dense these foods are when they cover so many areas of nutrition. And I want these vegans, the ones like Ellen Fisher's sister, I can't think of her name, but I want them to go into the ghetto. I want them to go into the trailer parks and tell those people everybody can be vegan. Even you guys, because y'all can order online if y'all don't have any stores around here that sell a lot of vegan foods. Y'all can order from Thrive Market. Okay, and so when they get their food stamps in, make sure you go tell them that. They can order from Thrive Market. Even though they, if they have some money, they may need the food right then. They don't have time to wait a few days for this shit to come in the mail. So they need to go to the store. Tell them that they can throw their wick out. They don't need the eggs and cheese and milk. That's not an important part of their diet. All these vegans advocating that these foods be taken off of, our government subsidies, and they would end up taking that off a WIC if it wasn't nutritionally important. Imagine that. Imagine all of these kids, all of these poor kids, not getting those few foods that are crucial in their diet because of these dumb ass vegans. They are so dumb. So then you tell all of them that they are just doing it wrong when their kids run into deficiencies. They're doing it wrong. And if you think, oh, you're so smart, that, you just have to be very smart to plan this all out. Okay, well, what about the people that don't ever want to know anything about nutrition? So you're telling me the whole world can do this, yet there are a lot of not so smart people out there, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but that is why animal foods are so important in their diet. They don't have to think about it. So you would think this would already be a wake-up call, seeing all of these malnourished vegan children, seeing vegan kids in the newspaper that have died, but they just say they did it wrong. I mean, wow, amazing. And then, omnivore kids starve too. Yeah, if they're not eating animal foods, just like the vegan kids. What a weird coincidence that that's the commonality here. You starve if you don't eat animal foods. Oh my goodness, wow, it just clicked. Okay, I'm sorry, I've gone on for too long ranting, but I do want to say to my viewers, I will be making more videos that are like more in depth and planned out, and But those are the ones that take a little more of my time. I have to really carve out time and work on them for sometimes weeks. So, yeah, I do plan. Those are my favorite kind of videos instead of these like short ones where I just talk. But I will be doing more of those. I just want to put that out there and improving the quality and whatnot consistently. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Alright, well, I'll see you later and eat your animal foods.